Thinking out in the open.
Yeah, thinking optional.
Okay, guys.
Thinking optional, speaking probable.
Um, well, I don't know if anybody has some plans for today. If that's the case, shoot. If not, we can discuss with Max. I don't know the state of moments, and with Gabe the state of RP radio, and with Martin. I don't know. I know he has been coding something.
Yeah, we can do maybe smart contracts, like I don't know, datum. We have this Cardano swaps thing. You could try to uh, do a swap, but that's a possibility.
I mean, I think last week we were discussing multi-sigs as well. Maybe might be nice to get Martin's input on that too, perhaps. Or yeah, I'd also be curious, Gabe, what your experience or any feedback so far on the connector, any macro trends that you see in the Cardano community around connectors. I know that there's different ways that people, for example, have been using all these voting tools for the governance, and yeah, curious to hear there. If is spoofing also an issue there, and if so, to what extent has those processes been liable? But anyway, broad topics to be introduced from somebody who's just driving, so don't let me dominate, please.
Man, I really liked that one repo that you shared. There's one wallet connector that's really trying to do everything. Like, really the connector that is wallet agnostic. Like, we are literally on-chain validating signatures and not just SIP8. So, getting this into the ethos of what we're doing with GameChanger, literally the only thing that would be missing is a lot of the governance voting stuff, which I think Adriano's already implementing now. So really, it's not so much of, that this tool has something that we don't. It's just that it's the manner in which applications utilize wallets that creates this this bottleneck, right? And I don't have any trends to talk about here, Max, because you are my only user of this product. ARP Radio and you are the only people. And, so when we are looking at all of the other models of applications here, it's mesh and other things like that. And it really sucks. Like, how do I connect my GameChanger wallet to GovTools, right? Something super extremely important into participation on the Cardano ecosystem, and we do not have the ability to essentially pick any wallet and interact onto very fundamental things on the blockchain, and that's a huge problem to me. Huge problem. So GC Connect is essentially just being that bridge of what GameChanger enables. So GameChanger is aiming to allow you to do anything on the Cardano network is now being facilitated through this, you call it an API, or I don't know exactly what to properly classify it as, but this wallet, right, is really just trying to facilitate every action that can be done on the blockchain. And not every other wallet connector allows for that to happen. And it's a terrible experience for the users. Now, looking into more of these codes, the spoofing of a wallet connecting into an app, you always have some aspect of trust, right? Are you trusting the wallet connector to say, hey, this is a person signing, here's their data, and now your application says, okay, thank you, Eternal, or thank you, whatever, right? So it doesn't matter how well Eternal's validation is if all your application is doing is trusting Eternal. Because if your application is just saying, I'm just wanting to receive a payload from someone, in this format, and it's not even eternal now talking to your endpoint, and now your application can be spoofed. It's not even hacking Cardano or eternal, it's hacking your application, right? So really there's so many aspects to this. Sure, the actual wallet connector can have wallet connection validation, but if your application doesn't leverage it, it's bypassed, right? So there's so many different levels to this, and you can put in the tools to have validation, but that doesn't mean that the application that uses it inherits that security, because you have to implement those tools into your logic for that to even be valid. So, I'm really curious for more applications to start diving into this aspect, that the wallet, you don't go to Walmart and they say, oh, you can't shop here because you have a sheepskin wallet, sorry, that wallet's incompatible here. You know what I'm saying? You're giving them the money, and the second that our ecosystem kind of realizes that we shouldn't limit our people based on the type of wallet they're interacting with our services with, I think we're going to have a bigger discussion to have here, right? But I think we're barely coming to that realization that, like, man, we probably made the wrong choice, or maybe not the best choice with SIP30.
Gabriel, you released something. I still want to integrate it into Denblind governance.
Please let me know any bugs. So, like, everyone loves TypeScript, right? Because of all of the strict type checking and all of that. So if you try to build this app, there's going to be some type errors still. You can definitely make it work. There's nothing critically broken about it. A lot of it's type errors. But what I do have public right now, if you were to try to build your next JS app, yeah, ESLint is going to give you a ton of errors. But it's functional code. I definitely want to see how other people are integrating it, to see, like, hey, like, what didn't I think of that we need to be mindful of on this? But it should be the same repo I shared way back, but it's based on Next.js. The idea is taking this out of more compatible infrastructure, right? To have components being easily shared.
I might not be able to find that link.
I will share it here.
Yeah, please.
But yeah, please, just a disclaimer. I'm not responsible for anything that might break on there, but please give me your information, because, like, yeah, the idea is to make this everything that we're talking about, like giving people the means of connecting with the Cardano network without having to decide which wallet you need to use to make that happen.
Cool.
Guys, it's always good to tell where the North is regarding all this. Not only for all here to know, but also for you guys to collaborate if you can and you want. Remember that there is a plan for. I mean, there is no huge priority right now, but the idea is to refactor the GC library, the library for integrating GC. You can integrate GC even without the library, or it's very easy to do, but the library, it's meant for easing all this stuff. And in the future, the work that you're doing, Gabe, if you want, we can team up, or we can collaborate somehow, or at least I can, based on some stuff that you're doing, to integrate that on the library as an official or part of that. Not the entire connector, of course, makes no sense, not the entire thing, but to make easier for applications to launch a pop-up, a GC pop-up, and deal that through promises, through JavaScript promises, right? That would be, I mean, we are getting closer to the CAP30 experience without, all the complexities maybe of capturing the responses and everything, which it's a bit complex if you think about it, but it's the price for not injecting JavaScript on all the web pages for being more web free. And it's not a terrible thing, because actually a lot of Web 2 systems work this way, or even worse. Even web free stuff, like for example Trezor, the web application that Trezor uses for connecting or integrating the hardware wallet, it leverages on kind of the same technology that GC is using for integrating. So it's not that we are dealing with extraterrestrial technologies. It's there. Just we need to use it. Okay, my 2 cents are there. We need to refactor that library, and on that refactor, I will try to integrate some things to help also your repository and to make a more universal, an official solution around that. But it will come a lot from your work for sure. So thank you really.
Anything we can do, I guess I'm a multiple personality now. Anything that I can do to help on that, man. The whole intent was to have this as a public repo. That I don't own this. The idea is the Cardano community needs a way to interact with the blockchain in a way that doesn't restrict them. And I like that even if somebody says I want Eternal, they can still use a GameChanger, right? Like this is the beautiful thing about GameChanger. It's like almost not even the wallet. It's like the wallet aggregator, if you want it to look at it that way. It can be your single point of wallet connection too. But for me, that is the approach that's the least or the most inviting, I would say, right? And that's the idea, is how do we make everyone able to do that? Because when I was building apps, you had the mesh SDK connector, and it was, for someone that doesn't know anything about the blockchain, that's a very powerful tool. You just throw in this component, and bam, I have a potentially wallet, token gated application or whatever, but then you realize, the limitations of this, getting it deployed on your current application, X, Y, and Z, things of that nature. So, we need something that does that job. And I really like the ethos of GameChanger. If we can have that, the backbone of everything, and still people don't need to decide that GameChanger is their wallet. They can still use a different wallet if they really decide to. And there's a lot of hands. What you guys got?
Go Q.
So when thinking about like marketing and promoting the multi-sigs, the fact that using the Vesper integration and the bio, the thumb signature with it, it is, for me, it's just cool as hell. And when I tell people or share the idea that I'm going to do something on multi-sigs, they think that I'm just talking about doing a multi-sig on GameChanger, which I think is a huge narrative that can be very easily and quickly transferred to GameChanger's building ecosystem tools for the ecosystem, and not a DApp and not a siloed product. And we could do I'm honestly, I've been saying that I'm going to do this multi-sig May or multi-sig March or June or whatever, like focusing on the multi-sig. I'm not ready to do it. I would like some help or support, or other than, hey, that's great, go do it. And forgive me if I'm yelling. I don't know why. It's my first time talking. I'll get closer and not be so loud. But doing it with Begin, doing it with Vesper, doing it with Eternal if it's connected, and actually bringing all the wallets in. I mean, for me, as much as Adriano doesn't like for me to say that GameChanger is not a wallet, it's a dApp or a command center. GameChanger is like the economy. It actually uses all of the tools, inputs and outputs. And allows it could. I feel like GameChanger could create an atmosphere where Cardano and people in Cardano themselves could transact a little bit better with more tools, use more tools, and find a way to get towards some sort of a sustainable involvement and engagement. There's nothing to say that we can't just send somebody 5 ADA or freaking 10 SNEC or something, for just being cool, for doing a transaction, for hosting a space, for saying a good comment. Like, well, I don't understand. I worked in the restaurant business a long time. I've worked in, tipping economies. Not that we're a tip, crypto or Cardano's this tipping environment, but Jesus, we're recording. So, we're opposed to spending ADA, even on good stuff. Look at the Treasury. Look at this net change limit. Or if people had it, we would probably never ever spend money from the Treasury and wonder why we can't grow. We can grow if we can show how we can use all of the wallets, not show a favoritism, but bring them all together. And it is May 6th, so yeah, I want to start doing the whole multi-sig thing and just pushing it, because I feel like that's the true future of crypto, and engaging is going to be a multi-sig environment. We're going to do things together. A single address or a single signer wallet is centralized. It's central in the fact that it's focused on that one person having to sign something. 2 people, 3 people, good God, it changes the way we think about working together and doing stuff, and if there's anything that we can do to help people plan on, or at least acknowledge that, there's other people in Cardano, there's other tools, there's other stuff, like, let's, instead of submitting a proposal for my project, why don't we submit a project proposal for all the wallets to upgrade SIP 30 XYZ new API, or build a brand new GraphQL that's 10 times bulky and 20 times less fast, and make it even more difficult. But I'm rambling. I want to just go back there. If the GameChanger allows us to bring a lot of tools together, a lot of wallets, and let's stop trying to create a wallet race. They're all cool. And Max, please disagree with everything I said.
No, I'm not disagreeing at all. I'm keen to understand more about the multi-sig parts within GC, even small scale. Like, I'm trying to think of ways where you can quick deploy multi-sigs for specific small actions, right? Like, so for example, we want to be innovative in our giveaways where we empower content communities, right? So let's say that you start the tree community, and we say, all right, anybody that minted a tree community token gets to decide who gets to win the giveaway, right? And you have a little multi-sig where you count maybe the number of tree NFTs or moments that were created, and you guys get to elect your own winner. These kind of things, right? Where it's just like quick, easy, executable multi-sigs with a specific function, and making sense of that without getting bogged down in these more like complicated multi-sigs like we're discussing with the constitutional debt, where we're also trying to build out a whole new system for project management with multi-sigs, or perhaps even a multi-sig on the governance side, like we were discussing, Pseudo, about what kind of governance actions can we execute through a multi-sig. So yeah, I'm keen to explore that vein of thought also, because exactly as you say, GameChanger is wallet agnostic, so whoever participates in such a limited scope domain multi-sig would be able to action, right? It's that's a great strength. And then coming back a little bit before, Pseudo, when I asked you like a little bit like the macro view, it was also just on the aspect that we see more and more gov tools using just the SIP 30 signer, as far as I saw it, and that's interesting, from the perspective of the security issues that we were broadly discussing, and that GameChanger has an approach there that makes sense. Yeah, I'm surprised that there's not more people looking at GameChanger for this verified signer that Sudo actually created. Right, this is a pretty phenomenal way to assure that you're actually having the correct user on the other end, or the correct wallet. Yeah, there's some words.
Thanks, guys, for all the kind words, the nice, opinions around GC. Thank you. Regarding regarding multisegs, Q. Sometimes maybe we are not following exactly the idea you want to do, but if there is something, the exact thing you have in mind at the right time. But come on, this is the space where we can just be sharing screen and start doing stuff. So if you want, let's do it. We don't have much time, so let's start. And regarding Max, regarding what Hiro reported today, I guess was today. Sorry if I missed it before. If it was from before. Because of the error reported, I'm not sure if the error is coming from Eternal. I know they launched this new version. You were testing on this new version, and that happened, right? That's the story behind that bug report.
I don't have it in front of me right now, so I'm not sure.
Okay, guys, I need, as I said on the support channel, I have some tasks to do related to that piece of the wallet, like the core, it's the part of the wallet that deals with the compatibility with all the other kind of wallets that you can encounter. With, for example, CP30 wallets, hardware wallets. So I have some pending work there. The more details we can find around these issues, these compatibility issues that are appearing because this was not happening before, let me know. So when I find the time to focus on that, I will be doing that work. We'll reviewing that support, because once again, the idea, as you said, yeah, it's like to be an aggregator of wallets, to don't restrict access to anybody, to anything, even to my competitors. I believe on open systems. So in that regard, so we have to have support for all the other wallets. This being said, there are some issues with Lace and other wallets like Droid. But there is a proposal that I discussed with the Lace team to make a CP for improving the connection between GC and all these CP30 wallets. But that will take time, most likely. I will try to find a practical solution in the short term. And the other pending thing is CP8 for hardware wallets. So this is for Gabe. It's on the list. I just need to focus first on Koyos, and Dandelion Light and all this stuff, and replacing GraphQL from the wallet, because it's the pain the pain point we're suffering now. We need to just get rid of that and continue. So sorry if I'm delaying the CP8 support, but guys, let me know if there is, a milestone or something very important that you need to reach, and you need something from us. Let us know. Be clear about it. Like, the world will end if you don't have this feature by, Otherwise, I will keep prioritizing already a priority on the list.
So yeah, we must have that SIP8 signing by tomorrow.
Yes, actually, if we could have it before then, it would be great.
No problem. I'm starting now.
Honestly, this is complete opposite of what you were saying. This is a low priority thing that doesn't really change anything, but is a good user experience improvement. And this is after an initial failed transaction to have like a reload. It's like you can do F5 and reload that page and it'll reload the script and try it again. But it only gives you go back. So if I did something, say I'm using Eternal, right? And I opened Eternal and I did something wrong, well, now GC will say go back. I have to manually hit F5 to retry that script if something fails. Does that make sense? So if you go to like sign something and say asks for your password and you don't hit the password, it's kind of like that similar thing, right? It instantly will say, okay, go back now. So that one thing is, yeah, if we could just have like it, as well as the go back, a retry button, and that would just literally refresh the whole modal and retry the script again. Very small, doesn't change anything, right? Because manually I'm just refreshing it. But for users, I think that would be a very easy thing to implement that would amount to a good improvement, I think.
Gabe, please, I mean, the password issue, I get it completely. The go back can be tricky depending on how you are triggering the app connector. If you're launching it on pop-up, on the same tab, the go back button was supposed to work on all the environments, but I know it can have some issues on some of these modes. So, and issues, I mean, by issues I mean somehow the browser history is not available, so the go back is not actually being able to go back, basically. So I should maybe just change the label. But instead of changing the label, I would like to know more about your feedback about where it's happening, how it's happening, and to understand actually, not to mechanize, to say, okay, I have to change the label. No, to understand where we should go, what we should do. So I'm sorry. If you have some time, I know it's not a priority, that's good. Always, guys, make a video. Better than a screen capture. Make a tiny video, show me the issue. If it's with audio, better, so you can, talk about the issue and then with your own words, saying what's going on. And we can store that to have the proper feedback around for a fix or an improvement, because otherwise is what I think you are suggesting me to do, and it's time passes and then it's a mess. Thank you, and yeah, the password thing is for sure something that I understand what you're saying, but yeah, still share me if you can some videos.
No, and you're absolutely right too, right? Because at least in the wallet connector I have, it opens up another window and then it has to make this call separately because like you're saying, there's no browser history on that window. So yeah, I've already had to work around that in certain ways, make sure the APIs get that call properly and whatnot. But I will absolutely take your advice and get the exact scenarios. I understand exactly why you're asking for that. Yeah.
Okay, there is a workaround that I always thought about, but it's a bit more complicated. But it will allow you to go back and can maybe improve some user experience. That is to launch GC this way. Like you have a tab. This tab launches a pop-up, but this pop-up, the domain, the route for this pop-up is not GC, is your domain. That domain then redirects on the same pop-up to GC automatically. If that's possible, we have to double check that part. Once that happens, the go back button will work. You will go back to your domain inside the pop-up. Then you will do your settlement for for the return data, whatever you need, and then you can close the pop-up. That user experience, that implementation could fix that thing regarding the go back. Of course, I can do some stuff on the wallet side, and that could ease some work. But that's also another thing you can try, if not terrible, and that will solve those issues. And you will have context for going back. I mean, browser history. Yeah.
Sorry, there's like another conversation
On the chat.
on the
Yes. Yes. Yes.
By the way, Q, I just
bring it
wanted to
here.
say, yeah, I just wanted to say to the multi-sig May or whatever, let's absolutely make this a thing.
Okay.
Governance right now is the biggest opportunity for people to actually use multi-sig in a very meaningful manner. I think, treasuries is a good way for people to use them too, but it's kind of scary when you're dealing with a lot of money potentially. Voting, I think that makes a lot of sense. Like, you don't necessarily need to have a lot of capital locked up, but you still want to make sure that multi-sig is utilized in certain cases. CC elections coming in, there's a bunch of consortiums that can use these multi-sig tooling. So I think this is the opportune time for this discussion to happen. And then a series, like you're saying, like a month of discussions to happen. By all means, let's make this happen. I know Max and I are we're really looking into implementation this on the governance side of things, how to make this a viable option for governance. There's a lot of other proposals for like the future work streams, how to actually manage funds, do the whole administration and things of that. I know all of this, so let's make it happen, man. Let's what do we need to do to get the word out? Because I think this is the prime time for that.
Actually, I think I just need to start, create some sort of a visual, something that would look nice and say, hey, this is multi-sig May. Sign, bring your own wallet, and here's the other thing that I want to do with this. I want to test all the other multi-sig features. I can't open up Mesh's multi-sig, but there's no reason that we wouldn't look at it. BroClan has a specialized multi-sig. Eternal's trying to monopolize or BI. Oh, sorry that we're recording, but yeah, Eternal, well done, buddy. You guys think your iPhone or Apple? You want everybody just to use your wallet for your multi-sig without any compatibility with other wallets. Bold move. I love your proposal, to fund you and pay your bills out of the Cardano treasury. That's cool too. You should have just put that in for all wallets and all teams, but not salty. But yeah, create something and say, hey, let's look at all the multi-sig options. Let's learn what multi-sig is. Let's learn how to, do things collectively, collaboratively, and with intent. So, what epoch is it? I meant to launch it early on epoch 555 because I'm a weirdo with numbers. But create wallets with 5, 7, and 9, and see what happens, man. I just don't have a really good way to incentivize people unless it is some sort of a minting through moments or adding something to it. It's the incentive that gets people interested. So that's the trick.
I mean, Q, we have some budget for incentives, so if users want to create a couple of moments, we can incentivize it, no problem, so let me know, like, let's test the model and roll it out, we totally open for that.
Okay, beautiful.
Great. That will be great, Max. Guys, regarding, I mean, there is a lot of opportunity for you guys doing the apps, for collaborating with, what Q wants to do through multisig. It's here is where Cardano gets a bit complicated if you want, but depending on how you code, it's not that complicated. So the app connector that Gabe has done could be less restrictive, could allow for some level of how do you say? I say impersonation, but I know you say something else, some other word I don't remember.
Spoof.
Like on Ethereum, like a lot of applications on Ethereum, and then when you actually need to use the actual private keys, on the underlying private keys, then you can of course filter out impersonators. But I know on some of your applications you need more than that. It's not fully on chain, so I get it. But keep in mind that GC allows you with, I don't know, maybe 5 lines of code, actually some configs that you have to pass. GC allows you to have a seamless connection from a personal address or a multisig address to a DApp. So multisig addresses, shared treasuries, can consume your DApps as any other else. Keep that in mind because it's important. I designed the thing in such a way that you can do that if you want. But then you have to be less restrictive because, for example, CAP8 is not prepared for this. This is the conversation we had the other day. It's a shame. I would love to have a universal message signing, solution. I have one in mind, but it's bold. It's safe, but it's bold. People will not like it because I know how people think here. But it's simple, and it will fix all these issues we have. Even we allow for Bluetooth to sign, which is crazy. Yeah, Bluetooth scripts to sign messages. That would be amazing. But whatever. What I'm going back to the thing, keep in mind when you are connecting to DC and you're asking for an address, if you get less restricted and you let any address to be responded with on that on that connection, and when you build transactions, you add like 5 lines of code that you can copy paste. Those are even on the examples. Your DApp is multi-sig ready, and any shared treasury can, I don't know, mint moments, for example, or or the AirB radio NFTs. So keep that in mind. If you need help there, let me know. I can assist. But that's also something important on this model, that we are not even leaving behind script-based addresses. And talking about this, I have a call after this live. I cannot say details because maybe nothing will happen. I don't know, but there is a possible collaboration with another wallet taking place. So or a new wallet taking place. So yeah, that has to do with script-based, because workspaces allow you to do. It's very open to everybody. So that's the good thing about DC. And the more you use it, the more opens you open. The more doors you open.
All right, so I've got a couple of questions here, if I can here. So I've been sharing that link for the HackQuest, the wallet generator that creates the testnet wallets. Like right here, but it also it funds them. It'll fund the testnet wallets, but it also allows you to create a workspace, which I find, really awesome to go in and see what's going on if people have been using those wallets. This is going to be a big ask, I do believe, but how hard would it be to do this where it just creates, 5, 7, or 9, not 10, or not let you to keep it up? But first of all, who's maintaining this DApp and this site, and what can we do to build upon it? Nobody. Okay. And then, the thing that I love most about the GameChanger multi-sig is the ability to add the name of the person as opposed to just leaving an address there. So between like Martin's, his DAO template site, which works great, and I love it, is there a way to, one, add that part where it says Quasar, or hard fork, allows us to see the name of the wallet as opposed to just the address, because that's a real unique value proposition. And then let's just say I set up a multi-sig, which I'm trying to do like right here, and I guess I'm trying to put this on GCFS because it's asking me for 8.538, and apparently I don't have it.
Apply. If you don't want to go to, if you don't want to store that that workspace on GCFS, just use the apply button, not the same.
Well, here's the thing. This is for somebody else and for their community. I'm not part of this multi-sig. I'm just creating it for someone. They asked me to, so I've got their addresses.
Okay, then use the social share. You have buttons there to do what you want, to share a link to those guys, and that's it.
So do I abort here, or where's the go back button?
There is no go back once you close the window.
So
but that's okay.
Is it abort then?
Close the model, the app connector. That's it. And no, stop. Close that again. Can you share screen?
Yeah.
Or
sure. I'm not scared.
Or get yourself a bit smaller. That's great. So there is a part that says, also, you may want to share these settings to other users to pair their devices with these multi-sig wallets. This will allow you or others to spend, delegate, mint, or do other multi-sig transactions. And then you have the copy. I don't know why that button is a bit nuts, but yeah, you can copy that or use the other, links there.
They're on Discord. I need a Discord button here, like before I do anything else.
Okay, I will see if Discord can be added. But basically, you have the link. With the link, you can do whatever you want, and that's it. And that's live. Whatever you are doing on the upper UI, the link gets updated immediately.
Yeah.
And that installs this workspace on your device. There you are consuming this workspace, but with the first link you copied, you can share it for you or anybody else to use it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you. And I went in and I guess I tried to create a password, but the only reason you would need a password is if you saved it as a disk, right?
Yeah. When you save it as a disk, the problem is that you're saving that for yourself, and that means that you are creating this very special disk NFT that is encrypted and is password protected, because we are talking about settings that will ultimately, control your wallet or set up your wallet. So that's why a password is needed, and because that file that will be stored on GCFS, it's also it has to be private, so it's not stored on as plain text. Okay, that's why that GCFS is encrypted. It requires some password protection.
Okay, I got you.
It's a pretty advanced feature that GC has that nobody uses, and because GCFS, because the UTXO model is complex. You need several UTXOs to use GCFS properly. It's a bit, it's not something very common, but the great thing is that this feature, once you use it, you are very, very secure. I mean, you can trust that you have stored by yourself using your own private keys this NFT that is even password protected, and that information, that script that is lying there, will you can trust that script to configure your wallet, to set up your wallet. That's the explanation behind that feature that says save. When you save the workspace, you're saving it to GCFS in a very secure way. It's secure because Cardano cryptography protects it. Ensures that it comes from you, and also because it's encrypted, password encrypted, so it's private. But yeah, it's
yeah. So let's just say that I had a wallet configuration that I had 5 stake pools, and I wanted to go back and change a stake pool and or a DREP or whatever it may be. Then that's where I could create the disk that has the encryption that's that I could log into and then update that disk NFT.
Not exactly for pools queue, but yeah, for example, if you do multi-delegation, yes, that makes sense, because that script will have the information on how to create, for example, 5 addresses or 5 setups for multi-delegation. Then you're right, yeah. And what's the thing? What's the deal with this? That you are now on another device, and you want to pair back with this. To import back these 5 addresses. But the thing is that you want to trust on this script. You want to have a high level of trust on this script. So you read it from GCFS. It's signed by yourself, and you know the password. That's the user experience. Is for a paranoid level workspace user experience, to know to ensure that you trust the source, and whatever you're doing there is privacy preserving, because it's password protected. It's not stored in plain text. Okay, but yeah,
I think I understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then when you open your wallet on any other device, there is like a dialog that will say, hey, there is a wallet setup script on this on your wallet that you can load and execute. Do you want to load it? Do you want to execute it? And then you click execute, you put the password, and you're set. You have you have paired your new device with the same setup you had before, without sharing links, without doing any manual thing. That's how it works. Nobody's using it, but it's it's a nice feature.
Honestly, I would need us to use it before I could talk other people into using it. because I was halfway listening to you, Johnny. I'm sorry. I was,
No worries.
Yeah.
If you want, we can try it now, or I can help you to finish whatever you're doing. You were trying to do this multisig for somebody else, and you applied it, so you have it right there, right?
Yeah, I have it, and all four users are using Vesper. But here's the part where I think I need to figure something out: is they go to Vesper, they type in Game Changer, they get to the Game Changer site, but how does this, multi-sig show up to them? And I hate to be a parrot and just repeat stuff, but we've got to figure out something better with the naming here. This GCM6 Metal MS, I gotta figure out something, or you do, or Gabe does, or Max does. Max could do something if he wasn't busy driving bicycles and cars everywhere.
And yeah, you're right. The naming. I mean, right now there is. I took a shortcut because I did not have enough time. So I mixed the internal name of the address with the title. You should be able to define a title, and the title should appear there. But the thing is that I did not have enough time to implement that on workspaces, on address artifacts. So that's why that's a bit ugly right now. You're right. Yeah, I'm sorry. I need more time to focus on that. But yeah, that's something that I need to.
And if there's somewhere in here that you can tell us where to change it, I don't mind doing it a bit manual to begin with.
When you're creating the multisigs, you can change a part of that of those names, not fully, because it has to start with GC, but you can, yeah. I don't remember at what extent. If you want, we can review it. Can you go to Discover and to do that again? Discover. It's multisigs. There, you have there exactly. So if you change that, it's still adding the GCM6 prefix.
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
So if I just hit QS, and I don't know why I did the underscore otherwise.
There was no advanced button there somewhere on that UI? No, right?
Oh, where?
I don't remember. There is no advanced.
Not here. So we're just going to accept that. There's an add. Nothing there. Boom. Okay, let's go back to mainnet here.
Yeah, that's something I need to improve. Yeah.
That's all good. I understand. I mean, so like I could get to here and I could just go ahead and say, boom, apply. I really do like the idea of saving. I wish there was a way to save one and then like save one base multi-sig, one 5 of 7 or 5 of 9, or that people could add their address to. You know what I mean? As opposed to pre-population.
No, remember that.
No, I know.
Okay,
Yeah.
on all this stuff, if you add somebody, if you change even the order where the participants are defined or listed on this multisig thing, the address changes.
No, yeah, I know.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. Repeat that though.
Yeah. Any change on the shared directory that you are creating, like the number of participants, the order where these participants are being listed on these files on GCScript itself, everything there will change the address, will change the native script, and will change the address of that shared treasury, meaning that you can, I mean, you're literally talking about an entire new address. You're changing everything. So it's not like you can add participants later to a shared treasury.
Oh yeah. I gotcha.
Okay. And what you're doing is great, because if you know how to tweak this file, you will be able to move to improve the names.
Yeah.
For example,
Yeah.
if you care, remember these guys. This GC prefix on these names, on these workspace artifacts, meaning can be an address, for example, means that it's a security measure. Not everybody will be able to execute this script. There is some security involved. If you don't care about that, if you want anybody to run this script, even for a DApp to for example, to be able to launch this script, you can remove the GC prefixes there and to use the names you want. So you can fully customize the name. It's not that you're forced for that. You're forced for that because of a security measure. Otherwise, you can use whatever you want. So, for example, there you can replace GCM6 on all the code there, on all that file. You can replace it. Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Check all the other appearances of that.
Yeah.
Just in cases.
Yeah.
Okay.
Boom. Hard fork QS. Yeah. Okay. Great. I see
Okay.
this.
And regarding the wait, let me check something. Can you go down? If you mess it here, it's going to fail. So we need to know if everything's good. Go down. Yeah, you think that's okay? Okay. So wait a second. That's an address. The name of that address is on the line 54, where it says name pattern. There, exactly. So if you change that hard fork QS for whatever you want, that's the name that will appear on there. Exactly.
Right here.
Yeah. So you can just change that for whatever you want right now. Like, do it if you want.
Okay. So, but I don't want to change this here. The QS is where I named it back on the other screen. All right, and then we've got. Let me go back down here. We got hard fork there. Boom, boom. So let's just say that I was going to set this up for. Well, yeah, Max, go ahead, buddy. I was going to let's just say I set it up for moments or May or something, Well, I didn't change all. So.
Adriano, I'm just keen to hear your thoughts if we had this dynamic element, how you would suggest to deal with it. So let's say that we announce some kind of multi-sig and we want to allow anybody to join. They just need to perform some actions so that they can, register their wallet into the multi-sig, which I understand it's dynamic, so the multi-sig would change in very significant ways. But what kind of flow could possibly work or make sense there? Any thoughts on that? Like how to allow that to be multiple steps where in maybe phase one, users are registering to be part of a multi-sig. And then in stage two, the multi-sig actually executes some kind of logic or accepts votes. And then stage three, perhaps that's the part where it executes.
Okay, Max. I mean, there can be like a trillion answers to that.
Yeah, it's a broad question, I know.
Yes, because it depends on how you, I mean, how far you're willing to go. If you really want a dynamic multi-sig setup, we have to go to Bluetooth. We have to use Bluetooth. That's the best way you can ensure to to grow and to do whatever you need. That's the best approach, to use Bluetooth, because you can do a good script there that will somehow read the data from somewhere, and you can update that data, and on that data you can define the members. Right?
But what about Unimatrix?